This is Algebra 2, Lesson 2.3, Solving Linear Systems with Substitution. Okay, straight into an example then. We are going to take these two linear equations. They represent a system. They are both in intercept form. And because they are both equal to y, I'm going to set them equal to each other. There you go. Okay, so again, because they are both equal to y, I took this equation and wrote it equal to this equation, and then we're going to solve. We're going to bring both of the x's to one side and both of the constants to one side, and then divide. So you have four correct options to start. You could minus 3 from both sides. You could add 2x to both sides. You could subtract 5 both sides. You could subtract 2x from both sides. You can eliminate whatever you want to start with. I always prefer to get rid of my smallest x. I think that's the easiest way to make the fewest mistakes because you always end up with a positive number then. So I'm going to choose to add 2x first. That's not the only option to come first. That's just what I want to do because then it's going to get rid of the negative x value and it's a lot easier to keep moving forward then. So I'm going to drop down my 3. I'm going to drop down my 5, and 2x plus 2x is 4x. So now that I brought my x's to the right, I need to bring my constants to the left. So I'm going to minus 5, minus 5. This is going to have all my x's on one side. I got 4x left over here, and I have 3 minus 5 is negative 2. I'm kind of running out of space because I'm writing too big. But the last thing we need to do is divide by the number in front of the x, right? We're going to divide by 4 because right now we have 4x. So if we divide 4 divided by 4, we will have x by itself. And this will give my answer of x equals negative 1/2. I think I'm going to squeeze them up at the top just because I ran out of space. X equals negative, and I'm going to go 0.5 for 1/2. Now we are not done. When we were solving with graphing, we always had an x answer and a y answer. It's the same with substitution. So I'm going to take that number, I'm going to substitute back in. You can put it into the first equation, or you can put it into the second equation. You should get the same answer both times. I'm going to do both just to double check. So I'm going to substitute it into the top equation, 3 minus 2 times x. So I put negative 0.5 in for that x. I know half of 2 is 1. I know a minus is a plus. So 3 plus 1 is 4. And if you don't trust yourself with your mental math, you do have the option of typing it straight into the calculator, and hopefully we get the same answer. Y is 4. I'm going to check the second equation just to be doubly, triply sure. So again, half of 2 is 1, plus minus is a minus 1, 5 minus 1. Again, we have y is 4. Another example, this time using a slope-intercept and a point slope. I'm going to try to write a little smaller this time, but again, if you have a y equals and a y equals, we can set them equal to each other. So that is 12x minus 2 plus 36 equals negative 3x minus 18. Okay? So whenever I see a number in front of parentheses, my gut instinct is to distribute. So I'm going to multiply both terms inside that parentheses by 12. 12x minus 24. Then we're going to combine some like terms. We have a negative 24 and a positive 36. So 12x is still 12x. That is positive 12 now we are to the same place that we started in example A. I'm going to choose to get rid of the smaller x first. I'm going to do that by adding 3x to each side. If I add 3x, it gets rid of that negative x. So that becomes 15x plus 12 equals negative 18. So now that I brought my x's to the left, I need to bring my constants to the right. I'm going to minus 12 from each side. 15x drops down. Minus 18 minus 12, that is a negative 30. And right now we have 15 times x. To undo a times, we need to divide by 15. The 15s will cross off, and that leaves me with x equals negative 2. Again, we are half done. We need to put that negative 2 back into the equation so we can get the y answer. You can plug it in this equation, or you can plug it in this equation. You can do both to check your answer. You should get the same answer for both equations. I'm going to, in the interest of time, just choose to do the bottom equation because it's a little less work without that parentheses. So, I know 3 times 2 is 6. Negative negative would be a positive 6. 6 minus 18 tells me y is negative 12. And maybe I will do the second equation, put straight into the calculator as a check. 12 negative 2 minus 2. So I replaced the x with a negative 2 and kept everything else the same. And I'm hoping to see a negative 12. Bam. X is negative 2. Y is negative 12. Okay. Next example. We have an equation in standard form and an equation in point slope form. When we're given this, what makes the most sense is to substitute this equation into the y, okay? Because we know y is x minus 2, we're going to replace the y with x minus 2. So that's going to look like x, 3, x minus 2 equals 14. I replaced the y with the second equation. Now we're going to distribute. That's what I like to do when I see parentheses. So that's x plus 3x minus 6, 3 times 2 is 6, equals 14. We have some like terms here. Remember, there is an invisible 1 in front of that guy. So 1x plus 3x is 4x. How about plus 6 both sides? And divide by 4 both sides. And that gives me x equals 5. Okay, we can plug him back in. We'll go right here. 5 take away 2. And I'm going to plug both of those answers into the top equation just to check my work. So if x is 5, and y is 3, I should see 14 as my check, and I do. Next one. Okay, man. Okay, how about we solve this one for x? There's a lot of different possibilities, but I'm going to say let's solve this for x. So I'm going to minus 6y from each side. That gives me x equals 29 minus 6y. Then I can plug that whole thing back in for x. 29 minus 6y minus 4y equals negative 6. Whew, that's crazy. Okay, distribute. 2 times 29. What is that? 2 times 30 would be 60 minus 2, 58. 12y, 4y. Okay, like terms. minus 58 both sides. Yikes. This one's a little crazy, huh? Negative 16y drops down. Negative 6, negative 58. Minus minus means we add them and the answer is still negative, so it'll be negative 64. Divide by negative 16. Hope you can still see it. I don't like writing on the other words, but I'm out of space. 64 divided by 16 tells me y is 4. Let's plug that back in right here. I'm going to go straight to the calculator. 29 minus 6 times 4 tells me x is 5. And I'm going to, let me write that down. X equals 29 minus 6 times 4. But then I'm going to plug both of those back into the top equation just to make, or to the bottom equation right here just to make sure it all works out. Okay, so that is 2 times x is 5 minus 4 times y is 4. And I'm hoping to see negative 6. Beautiful. Okay, this video's getting really long, so I'm going to try to speed up. Hopefully I'm not going too fast already. But we have Edna leaving the trailhead at dawn to hike 12 miles towards the lake where her friend is camping. At the same time, Maria starts hiking towards the trailhead. Edna is walking uphill, so she averages 1.5 miles per hour. Maria averages 2.5 miles per hour walking downhill. When and where will they meet? So let's go, Edna. Edna starts at 12 miles away, and she's walking toward the lake. Bam. Maria is at the lake, so we'll say her intercept is 0, and she's walking away from it, so her distance is increasing with a positive slope. Bam. Okay? Let's set the equations equal. We'll say 12 minus 1.5x equals 2.5x. So I will add 1.5x on both sides. 12 equals 1, 2, 3, 4x. Divide both sides by 4. And x is 3. So what that means is it will take them 3 hours of hiking before they run into each other. Then the next question is, how many miles have they hiked? So we're going to put that 3 back in. You can put it in this equation, you can put it in this equation, you can put it in both because it's so much fun to check our answers. So let's try that one. 12 minus 1.53. And we'll go straight to the second one also. 2.5 times 3. We got 7.5 for both answers, so I believe 7.5 is correct. They hiked for 3 hours each and for a total of 7.5 miles each. That sounds like a fun hiking day. Okay, that's all for this video. Good luck on the exercises. Please let me know if you have questions.